Welcome to the Yarn Barn.
G'day fellas, welcome to another episode of the Australian Dads Network podcast, where we are doing another solo episode. So the Yarn Barn, I'm welcoming you to the Yarn Barn, which is basically my kitchen table, and it's school holidays. So here we are again, round 2, week 2 of the school holidays. And so this is a solo episode just to be able to let all of the usual guests that we have be able to spend time with their families and whatnot. And while my kids are just chilling out for the moment, we are here amongst it, sharing this little solo episode with you. So just sit back. This is going to be only a short one. There's only so much of me you can listen to by myself. So this is just going to be a short one. And I hope you get some value out of it. If you do, like normal, please share this with your mates. Please, just give us a rating on whatever platform you listen to, but also just follow along with us, whatever you might be listening to this on. Click that subscribe or follow button, whatever it might be for you on that platform, or just jump onto our Facebook group or Facebook page and give us a like and a follow on there too, so you never miss a single beat of what we are bringing out to you. What is today about? Well, we're going to dive, not totally deep, but we're going to get a little bit deep into the world of emotions and the impact that our past has on our current emotional well-being. And yes, we're not going to dive too deep, like I mentioned, so don't stress, don't worry. We're not going to be asking you to share your deepest, darkest secrets with us, obviously, because you're not in this call, but we're going to get started anyway. And some of this might resonate with you and some of it might not, or some of it might be some of the skills and tools that I'll give to you towards the end of this may be helpful for you to take on board. But before we get started, I just want to share a really cool quote. Emotional intelligence is a superpower. It is the key to understanding ourselves and connecting with others on a deeper level. Now, this quote by an unknown author, it resonates with me because it highlights that immense value that our emotional intelligence, our EQ, has on our lives as dads, but as individuals, as people in our community. It is key to understanding ourselves. That self-awareness is massive, a massive part of anything we want to do with our lives. Emotional intelligence is simply the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions and the emotions of those around us, which is huge. It's so important for us as dads. It's about being aware of how we feel and why we feel that way, and then using that awareness to navigate our relationships and make better decisions. But unfortunately, as you guys all know, emotional intelligence, when most of us were going to school, it's not something that we were explicitly taught, or in the most aspects of our lives, it just wasn't present. So we grow up learning about maths, science, history, but rarely do we receive any sort of guidance on how to understand or manage our emotions, our own emotions effectively, and there's so much in that. We're just left to figure it out on our own, often through just trial and error. Simple as that. Now, imagine that if we treated emotions like a garden, we need to tend to our emotional garden, carefully nurturing it, cultivating it to ensure it thrives. Anyone knows me, thriving is a massive part of what I'm trying to achieve across all the areas of my life. Always a student, never a master. But for many of us in our garden, our emotional gardens, they've been neglected, or they've been filled with weeds due to our past experiences. All right? Think of your childhood experiences, those childhood experiences that you've been through. Consider them seeds, and they're planted in your garden, your emotional garden. And some of those seeds, they grew into really beautiful, vibrant flowers, big trees representing positive emotions and healthy coping mechanisms. But there may also be weeds that grew. A lot of us have weeds in our garden, and they're representing the negative emotions or the unhelpful ways of dealing with those negative emotions. Unhelpful coping mechanisms that you've developed are the weeds. That's what they're representing. So maybe you grew up in an environment where expressing emotions was discouraged, or and that led to you just bottling them up instead. A lot of us have done that, suppressing those emotions because it's easier to not deal with them, or not deal with the cause, not deal with the weeds. It's just easier to bottle them up. Or maybe you were witness to unhealthy patterns of emotional expression, and then you unknowingly, when you were, especially between the ages of 0 and 7, when you're in a theta brainwave state, which is basically a sponge to everything that's around you, you unknowingly adopt certain behaviors, and they may not be negative, they may be positive, but a lot of the times they're negative ones, especially if they're showing up today. So these experiences, they shape our emotional landscape and influenced how you perceive and handle emotions today, whether you want to dive into your childhood or not. If you've got some emotions that are being negative emotions that are being escalating or simmering under the surface for so long. I don't say negative emotions very loosely, by the way, but these emotions that that you're dealing with that are not helpful for you in the moment, then that's something that has been brought with you along your journey. So our emotional well-being requires a lot of ongoing care and attention. We need to focus on it. We need to pay attention. We need to become aware of those weeds that may have taken really strong root in our garden, in our emotional garden, and we need to learn how to get them out, move them, shake them, remove them. We need to replant seeds of strong emotional intelligence, strong emotional awareness, self-awareness, and nurture them so that they can also grow into some really healthy emotional habits, really helpful, positive emotional habits and coping habits. So how can we start this process? Well, one powerful tool, which I talk about a lot in a lot of the presentations that I deliver at workplaces and in my one-on-one clients, is self-reflection. Taking the time to pause and just ask yourself at various times throughout the day, how am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? And by becoming aware of our emotional states and their underlying causes, we can then just gain insights into ourselves and can, then begin to make really conscious choices about how to respond. Another really essential aspect is self-compassion. We need to be kind and understanding towards ourselves, acknowledging that we're all a work in progress. No one's perfect. And by understanding that, without judgment, we can be kind to ourselves. We appreciate that we've been through some stuff, and that now it is up to us to move forward. Emotions are a completely natural part of being human. And that's what I mentioned before. I say negative, but very loosely. There's no bad emotions. It's the story that we attach to that emotion that we need to work on. So it is completely okay to experience a range of emotions. So instead of judging ourselves harshly, let's embrace our emotions and use them as valuable signals that are guiding us towards growth and towards healing. And there's an American poet called Maya Angelou who says, "You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it." So before we wrap up, I just want to leave you with 3 really tangible and tactical skills that you guys can start practicing today to enhance your emotional intelligence, your EQ. Simple 3 ones. And these are not the be all and end all. And you may relate to some and you may relate to, not relate to others. And that's cool. If any of these 3 don't resonate with you, then message me. You got me on Facebook. Hit me a message and we can help you with something else. But the first one, practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness, I know some of you guys have switched off already. But please, if you're still with me, please just stay the course for the moment. Just being present in this current moment without any judgment is extremely powerful. It allows us time to observe our thoughts, our emotions, our physical sensations without getting caught up in them. No judgment. Just understanding, what are those senses? What are we feeling? What are we thinking? What are we seeing? By incorporating this into your daily routine, you can really develop a greater awareness of your emotions and how they impact your thoughts and actions. It's hugely powerful. So a simple exercise, take a few minutes each day just to sit quietly and just focus on your breath. Pay attention to the sensation as the breath moves in and out of your body through your nose, mouth closed, in and out through your nose, nice and gentle. No need to count numbers or anything, just breathe and pay attention to that. Whenever your mind starts to wander, just gently bring it back, focus on the breath. Start with 1 minute. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, I've tried meditation once and it didn't work. And that I get, because a lot of time we force ourselves and we think, oh, I've got to do a 20-minute meditation. And it's not as easy as that. It's really bloody hard. When you've got like 27,000 thoughts going through your brain every day, maybe even more. It's really hard to stop and focus on one or none. It's impossible. Without training, without space, without compassion, we won't do it. Same as if you go to the gym. If you want to build epic back muscles, then you can't go to the gym once and do one pull-up and expect to have epic back muscles. You need to go there consistently with discipline and patience. Same as meditation, same as mindfulness, same as breathing, same as any sort of activity that I'm going to give you after this, the other two. These need to be daily tasks added into your routine. So becoming more attuned through mindfulness activities to your emotions, you become better equipped to respond to them in a calmer and balanced manner. But you're also, by doing it every single day, by doing these things every single day, you're starting to trick your brain too. The brain's starting to get to a point where it's going to go, oh, we've used this before. We're in this position now. We've used this skill before. Let's use it again because it helped last time. So repetition, discipline, and habits. Right, the second skill is active listening. Active listening is a massively powerful skill, and it can greatly enhance your EQ and your relationships with other people, obviously. Listen to yourself, but actively listen to others is extremely important. Pay full attention to the person speaking without interrupting or thinking about your response, because when you actively listen, you create a safe space for open and honest communication. And if you're not actively listening, the person who you're listening to, supposed to be listening to, will know. Simple as that. Have you ever been speaking to somebody and then all of a sudden they look at their watch, their smartwatch, or they look somewhere else away from the conversation, or they just try and interrupt you? That's not active listening. How does it make you feel when that happens? Because if you're doing it to somebody else, even unconsciously, it's making them feel poor as well. So next time you're having a conversation with your partner, with your child, with your friend, try these active listening techniques. All right, you ready? Maintain eye contact. Unless there's some sort of cultural reason why that's not appropriate, maintain eye contact. Nod. Use affirmative gestures just to show that you're engaged. Paraphrase or summarize what the person is saying to ensure that you understand their perspective, but also so that they understand that you were listening. And by practicing this, you will demonstrate empathy and you'll create deeper connection with those people in your life. Hugely beneficial. Right, the third one, which I know is a real struggle for a lot of people. But again, it's talking about building muscles, talking about building habits, journaling. Write down your thoughts, your emotions, because these can be powerful tools for one, developing emotional intelligence, but also developing that awareness muscle. Keeping an emotional journal, a bit of a journal about understanding your emotions, what you're feeling at any particular time, it allows you to then reflect on those experiences as you move forward. You flick back the pages and have a look, gain some insights into your emotional patterns. I felt this one time a few weeks ago. Let's go back and where was I at that particular time? Tracking your progress over time is extremely important as well. Same as going to the gym. You lock in those rep patterns over time and you can see the improvement made. You can see the changes made. Same with journaling. And I just want to make a caveat. I'm not saying I've used a lot of gym references here. I'm not saying that I'm at the gym. It's just a really nice, easy way to grasp the concept of discipline, building muscles. It's still an area, like I said, I've said before, is I'm a student, I'm not a master. I'm still practicing a lot of this stuff myself and getting myself to a position where I can, really make some changes in a lot of different areas. But everything that I've mentioned here, everything that I've talked about here is things that I know work. I've either implemented them myself, or I've done the research. So simply to get started with journaling, set aside a few minutes each day just to write about whatever feelings are coming up for you. Describe those emotions you've experienced during the day, the situations that have triggered them, and how you responded to those triggers. What the response was to that particular emotion or that situation. Consider that impact that your emotions have on your interactions with other people as well. So write that down. And any lessons that you've learned from those experiences, putting everything into perspective, having that awareness. So by engaging in a practice like this, you'll develop a greater understanding of your emotional landscape, but you also get to discover some strategies for managing your emotions more effectively as well. So that's it. 3 tangible and tactical skills that you can start using today to boost your emotional intelligence, your mindfulness, your active listening, your emotional journaling. But it's through consistency, consistent practice, building it into your routine, self-reflection. Through this stuff, we can nurture our emotional intelligence and then create a more fulfilling and connected life for ourselves, but also with others. Hugely beneficial. And that's it. There you go. Wraps up the solo episode for today. Next week, we'll have another interesting episode. And we've got a few guys coming in. If this is something that is of interest to you, you want to jump on board and have a yarn with me inside the yarn barn at any stage, then please reach out. Like I said, just DM me and on Facebook, and we can have a chat, bring you on the podcast and have a yarn. Really enjoy having those conversations with anyone that wants to have a bit of a chat. For these for solo episodes, if you found it insightful, if you think it has encouraged you to embark on some sort of journey that you haven't touched on before, or try on something new, then that's really awesome. Please let me know, because the more that I hear from you guys, the more that I know something is sticking and that message is coming through. And this is what it's all about, just about sharing. You guys know inside our community that we're here to share and support, and that's what 3,000 of you guys are doing on a daily basis. 80% engagement inside of our community. Really bloody special. So keep looking after yourself. It's never too late to look after your emotional health. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, stay curious, embrace your emotions. And again, this is Liam Sorrell, the solo episode. Welcome to the Yarn Barn. I'll see you next time. Take care.